The artwork of Rodney Bode is taking over Gallery 613 in downtown Rapid City. Bode has what's called outsider art. He recently turned 80 years old and has a unique situation. Here's more on the story of Rodney Bode and how his collection of art came to the public.
Black Hills Advocate is a company that advocates for vulnerable adults and elderly people, and sometimes we are appointed by the court to be someone's legal guardian and conservator. So about a year ago, we received a call from the Butte County Sheriff's Department that they had a person in Butte County in need of protection, and would we be willing to help. Through a legal process, we became the guardian and conservator for Mr. Bode, took a trip up to his ranch outside of Nisland, South Dakota.
So I got a text from a friend that said she was working with Jenny on this, and that they found a home that was filled with a lot of artwork, and it was kind of strange artwork. They weren't sure what they had. And so at that point, we went up to Bode's ranch. We were greeted by 3 large sculptures as we kind of came into the ranch area. And then it was when we went in the house, there's just paintings everywhere. So we discovered about 240 paintings in his house.
You know, we found pieces of art in the house that weren't even on art material. Like he was so passionate about his painting that he was painting and creating on any surface that he could find, whether it was a canvas or not, it didn't seem to matter. And also just the different mediums that he used through sculpture or the forging of knives and swords, to things that you'd find hanging in the trees, to all of the paintings in the house, to the geodesic dome that he built in the back. You know, everything seemed to be was a work of art.
He kind of was all over the map in terms of what he's doing, because he was writing, he was doing poetry, he did paintings, he did sketches, he did sculptures.
You know, through going through the paperwork in the home and talking to Mr. Bode's neighbors, we were able to track down some of Mr. Bode's family who he was estranged from, and then really kind of began to get a picture of who he was. And he was actually a draft dodger during the Vietnam War. He was caught and did some time at the Presidio in San Francisco. He played minor league baseball for the San Francisco Giants, always into Arabian horses and kind of living a country style life, very much always an isolationist.
He moved to South Dakota after he saw Dances with Wolves, and he just kind of took after it. He just decided that this is where he needed to be, and he loved both kind of the Western culture and the Native American culture.
Through the house, there were tons of books on art history, on Picasso, on Van Gogh. And, you know, he was a completely self-taught artist. He was married for most of his adult life. He lost his wife in 2019. And I think that the death of his wife was a real turning point in his life and in his mental health. I don't think he ever really recovered. But always a very private person, but a very prolific artist.
Really was kind of I think really about peace and love for the most part, even though it seems like there's a lot of angst in these paintings. I think it's still centered on more of a unity kind of theme. He did a lot of flowers and fruit basket type paintings, you know, kind of what you might typically see with an artist. But then you step out of that, then there's the stuff that's kind of has a stronger narrative and crazier faces and things that are challenging you and you don't really know what it's about. So it does kind of send you into a dark place maybe in some cases, or just even knowing about, you know, some of his mental disorders that, you know, maybe make you reflect on maybe what he was thinking or what he was seeing. I think in a lot of cases it may have been like he would have visions and he'd sometimes have to feel like he has to paint those visions out and get them out into the world instead of trapped inside of him. But we don't have an artist statement with Rodney. I mean, he's never written about his work or the reasons why he did these. And that's what's kind of missing. And so it's kind of up for interpretation.
The takeaway is that it's about dignity, and I think it's about treating the thing that he very much loved the most with the highest degree of honor and respect.
Bode's work will be on display until November 20th. Then the gallery is taking the show to New York in February. The proceeds of the art sale will go to Bode's care.